Hi, I'm Cheryl Richardson, and today I'm here with Reid Tracy, and we wanted to tell you a little bit about a program that Reid and I do once a year called The Next Step. We take one day and we work specifically with authors and speakers who want to really take their speaking, their writing to a whole other level. And the second day we work with business owners, all different kinds of business owners, veterinarians, architects, builders, doctors, psychiatrists, you name it. Business owners who are also really in a growth phase and wanting to take their companies to a whole other level. We choose 12 people for each day. People apply, we go through the applications together, and we spend all day from 9 in the morning until 6 at night, work right through lunch, going around and hearing from each individual person about their specific business, the situation they're in, and then we strategize with them so that they leave with a very specific action plan that's going to allow them to achieve an even greater level of success. So today, Reid and I want to just tell you a little bit about some of the experiences we've had as we've led the next step over the last couple of years.
Yeah,
right?
It's been a lot of fun, and before, this is the first time now that we're separating the authors and the business owners. So I think that's going to have a lot of value because all the people that are in the author program are authors, all the people that are in the business program, and then it's great that they learn from each other, but they learn a lot from our mutual experience.
Yes.
Because as far as the business goes, I've worked at Hay House now for 26 years, and we've grown our business from $1 million in sales to $100 million in sales. So there's been a lot of learning along the way.
A lot of next steps
Yeah,
for
a lot
you,
of next steps. We've taken
Yeah.
a lot of steps, 26, one every year. And
Yeah.
most of those steps have been up, but there's been a few steps that have been down, which provide a lot of information for people as well.
Yeah.
And then from the author perspective, obviously I've worked with a lot of authors. I've had the pleasure of being with authors of over 60 New York Times bestsellers. So that's a lot of experience in the authors, and no one knows about being an author better than you.
Yes, yes.
And so you could bring that, and then you have an amazing coaching ability, and that's
Well, yeah, I mean,
right.
I've been coaching business owners for a long time, 25 years, and I've probably seen it all. I've worked with, just individual artists all the way up to CEOs of Fortune 50 companies, and so between the two of us, whether you're an author or a speaker or a business owner, we've seen a lot. We've
Right.
experienced a lot ourselves,
Exactly.
building our own companies. And I think both of us, when we decided to do this program, we had both reached a point, I think, in our lives and in our work where we wanted to kind of enter into a more mentoring role. We wanted to be able, we both get so excited about
Right,
helping
it's so
people
fun,
grow, right? We just have a great time. So we sit in a room with people, and 9 times out of 10 people will come in with certain plans and goals, and they'll leave with a completely different
Yeah.
strategy.
And so far, all the people we've had go through both programs for authors and business owners, everyone has told us they've got 10 times their money's worth for it.
Absolutely.
And really, to be honest, for us, we do it just for the fun of spending that day more than anything else.
Yes.
I mean, we get paid, but
Yeah.
it's more for the fun of doing
Yeah.
it. So.
And it's amazing what happens. Like, I'm thinking about, I remember there was one gentleman we worked with who was a doctor.
Right.
And he came in, he was working with children. And he came in and he had created this whole website. You know who I'm talking about. Created this whole web strategy as an affiliate of the organization he was working with. He had this whole plan. He had a heart of gold, and he really wanted to help children with learning disabilities. So
Yeah.
he had created this whole web strategy. And within 5 minutes, you and I looked at the strategy and realized, well, hold on a second. Thank God he hadn't launched it yet,
Yeah.
because there was no need for him to be affiliated, or the fact that he was affiliating himself with this organization was actually going to get him in trouble
Right.
down the line. And so we completely revamped his whole web launch in the nick of time so that he could really set himself up to stand on his own 2 feet and become a leader in the field in this particular area of working with children.
Yeah.
And I remember he was one of the ones that said, okay, that information alone
Right, was worth it. That was within 5 minutes. He
I
said,
know.
I can go home and this
Yeah.
is over.
Exactly,
And we've
exactly.
had two different like a therapist and a chiropractor that we've
Yes.
helped like really increase their revenue significantly
Yep.
by helping them to determine the right kind of patients, the right partners in their practices.
Yes. Yeah, I know. I'm thinking of one woman in particular, a chiropractor. I mean, one of the things we talk a lot about are who are your ideal customers, who are your ideal patients.
Right.
Because, at some point, a lot of the business owners we work with are very experienced. And one of the benefits of being an experienced business owner is you ought to be able to work with who you really like, right? You should be able to work with people who inspire you and who challenge you. And so this particular woman, I remember, we helped her. She had been in business a long time and was really good at what she did.
Yeah.
And what was dragging her down was a certain percentage of patients that weren't her ideal patients anymore.
Yeah.
And so we began to really help her craft an ideal patient profile and begin to completely reorient her business around the things that brought her energy and made her excited, and also gave her a strategy for referring out the people that no longer fit,
Right.
because that's important.
And attracting more of the patients she wanted.
That's
and,
right.
Yeah, and she's been real successful since
Yeah,
then. So.
yeah. And and a lot of times somebody, with the authors or speakers, people will reach a certain point in their speaking career where they realize it's time to write a book. It's time for them to capture their wisdom and experience in a book form, and but they don't know where to start, or they don't know whether or not they've got a really good idea. And then,
Yeah.
that's where you're like brilliant. They'll sit down and they'll start to talk about, what they're doing, and immediately your brain goes to, here's the angle, here's what you need to be writing about, here's the way it needs to be packaged, and here's how you need to start building an audience right now. And you just see these people like writing
Right.
feverishly, or typing away.
And also looking at different ways where they're going to make money to support themselves.
That's right.
That's another important thing. And since I spend 8 hours or 12 hours really every single day dealing with authors and dealing with speakers and dealing with things in this business.
With career building strategies.
Yeah, I think like this is basic, but people are like, oh my God, let me write it down. Or if it's more advanced, I have a lot of experience in there. And so do you. I mean, that's the great thing. And a lot of times we notice things about people's businesses or their speaking and writing that they just don't notice because they're so involved in
right.
it. Like a lot of times you say, you need an outside person to really look at your life. Well, you need an outside person to look at your career, your business, and that can really change things so quickly.
Well, I remember we had an attorney come in. She was she specialized in a particular area of law, and she was really well established and really good at what she did. And she came to the next step because she wanted to increase her business. She had this plan, this marketing plan, and she wanted to increase her office size, wanted to bring another attorney on board, remember? And within probably 20 or 30 minutes, what was really clear was if this woman had expanded her business, she very well could have been pretty sick within a year because she was overwhelmed, stressed out of her mind, and really suffering with the stress of success is what I would call it. She had reached a certain level of success and mistakenly believed that in order to get herself out of hot water, she needed to expand, when the truth was she needed to actually stop,
pick the right clients,
stop, not grow her business, but to do something that a lot of business owners are afraid to do, but it's actually mandatory. I've learned this as a coach, and that is to really build a stronger foundation underneath you, pull back, take some space, and really look strategically at how the business is actually going to serve you. And 6 months after that woman came to the next step, she was in one of our private Facebook groups writing about how her life had changed dramatically.
Yeah.
She was able to spend more time with her children, more time for her family, and realized that had she grown, it would have been a huge mistake.
Yeah, but I think one real good endorsement for the next step is now we have our first person who's coming back to the next step because they learned so much from the first one. And she's like, I just want to come and run everything else by you. You helped me so much. And she had a big business.
Yes, big business. This woman had spread herself over a social platform in multiple places. We streamlined her business, streamlined her social presence, gave her some great advice about talking to her doing market research with her existing customers
Right.
in order to expand. And yeah, when she applied for this year's Next Step, I thought, what a smart gal she is.
Yeah.
If she invested once a year in coming to this thing, she could just use what a cost-effective way to just launch herself to the
Right.
next level every single year. Just come in for a tune-up. Let's look
Yeah.
at what are you doing now. Now she's ready to expand into a whole other area, and we're going to help her come up with a strategic plan to do that.
Yeah, so that was great.
So the Next Step is an intensive one-day program for 12 people who are ready to take their businesses to the next level. And if you'd like to apply, you can simply visit the website right here on the screen and put in your application. Reid and I will take a look at it. We'll take a look at your website. We'll take a look at your social media pages and let you know whether or not we think the next step is the right next step for you.